belated holiday episode of The Chef
and the Dietitian.
I'm Chef AJ.
And I'm Julieanna Hever, the Plant-Based Dietitian.
Together,
we're the Chef and the Dietitian, and we make healthy taste delicious.
Delicious, nutritious, and easy.
Yes.
Because people keep writing us, what are they going to do for Thanksgiving, for Christmas?
People get afraid, especially when they've just gone plant-based,
right.
like overwhelmed. What do I make for the holidays?
The same thing you make for not the holidays, but maybe more of it, more variety, and we're going to make it really quick and easy for you guys.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Yes, the most important part.
The first thing we're going to make is a hearty lentil loaf, which can be a centerpiece of your table. And this is really, really easy, Juliana. In the food processor, I have 3 cups of lentils. Now, you know I love the pressure cooker.
I know. I still have not gotten my pressure cooker, but I want to because of you.
8 minutes to cook lentils.
Oh, that's amazing.
But show people what they can do if they don't yet.
If you don't have time or you don't have the pressure cooker like me, I haven't gone there yet, you can buy them already steamed in a box like this. Or sometimes I use the can.
Sure.
Or sometimes I make them in my rice cooker, actually.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and of course these products have a little bit of sodium as a preservative.
Right. If that's a problem, then just you want to cook them yourself.
Right.
So we have them pre-cooked. And a lot of these things they could do the day before. As a matter of fact, all this prep we did do the day before. So it's going to come together in no time. With a food processor fitted with the S-Way, we're just going to puree it just till it's more like a paste.
This gives it so much texture.
Right.
You don't miss any of the normal stuff you put in a loaf.
But what's good about lentils? High in everything.
Oh my God, fiber, iron, it's amazing for you. And they're so filling because of all that fiber.
You know, a lot of times people say that they get indigestion from beans, but lentils don't do that, do they?
You know, they're a little bit easier. It's all about the oligosaccharide content. And if you do find that you get that, like the gassiness or anything from eating any kind of beans, make sure you soak them first and make sure you use a little strip of kombu to get rid of some of those oligosaccharides. Then you'll feel better when you eat them.
I can already see the emails coming. What is kombu? I already had.
Oh right, thank you. Kombu, you're very good at that. Kombu is I should have some somewhere. It's a sea vegetable and it just helps reduce the amount of those carbohydrates in there that cause the gas.
Here's a great trick. You put your finger there when you do this with the blade so it doesn't fall out.
Do you want me to do that?
This is actually I'll do it and you can stir it up.
Look at that texture.
That's how they make mock chopped liver. It's generally out of lentils because it really does look like liver.
Okay, but then you're not getting all that horrible toxicity that's in the liver. You're getting all this nutrition instead. So much better. This is such an interesting texture. And it's not all puree. There's like some thicker ones. I like this.
It's really, really thick.
Yeah, it is. Like you can't barely get it out.
Yep. There's so many different kinds of lentils, aren't there?
I know. There's like a whole, I think there's probably at least a dozen lentils. I love experimenting. Like the red ones are really soft.
The French ones are my favorite.
They are?
The French ones.
They kind of stay thicker than
they're more expensive.
Their texture. Though. They are. The French, what is that? What's it called?
I don't know, but they're like, they're very expensive.
I like the red ones.
Je ne parle pas français.
Yeah, right.
Right here I have a pound of carrots. I just used organic carrots frozen. I defrosted them. Certainly feel free to cook them yourself, but they are defrosted, so they're going to puree up nicely.
And of course, we're boosting up our nutrition right here with all of our beta carotene, good for your eyes and your immune system. If we can get the thing on here.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's got a little attitude. No, first you gotta take it off. She's not used to my
I'm not used to Juliana's food processor. There we go. There we go. Due to a technical difficulty, this extended episode is going more extended. So while we're pureeing that, you can start adding these other things to the bowl. But let's tell everybody what it is.
Okay, so we've got oats. So how much oats is this? About
so
a cup
it's 2 cups of oats, but what I like to do is leave 1 cup in whole and 1 cup puree. I just think it gives it a nice texture.
I like that idea. Everyone likes to see those little oats in your loaves. I don't know about you guys.
You could puree both cups, or you could leave both cups. You know.
And what's good about that, I mean, the reason you use the oats is because it absorbs some of the moisture and it keeps it nice and moist.
And also because traditionally loaves of any kind, whether they're traditional meatloaves or plant-based meatloaves, have breadcrumbs. And I'm gluten-free, you're wheat-free, so...
and you're soy-free.
I'm soy-free.
We're a mess.
So that's why...
But still we get to have delicious food.
But I am using gluten-free oats, by the way, just so they do exist.
Yeah, they're easier to find nowadays. There's so much gluten-free out there.
But oats really aren't a gluten-containing grain, correct?
Right, it's because of cross-contamination that you find gluten in oats. So that's why you just have to find one. The reason they get the gluten-free is when they are make sure in the processing and in the harvesting, it stays away from the gluten.
The grains that contain gluten are barley, rye, wheat.
And wheat, yeah.
What about spelt?
Spelt is a wheat derivative.
So it's a wheat derivative. So are there any more out there that have gluten that I'm not
Triticale.
Who even eats triticale?
You don't eat triticale?
I don't even know what triticale is.
You don't know what triticale is? I don't either.
I have no idea.
I honestly don't
Millet's
either.
gluten-free though, right?
Millet is gluten-free.
Amaranth is
gluten-free.
Buckwheat.
Buckwheat, very good.
Okay. So while she's doing that, I'm going to add the 2 cups of walnuts. One is chopped finely, one is kind of not
our healthy
Good for
dose of
texture.
omega-3 fatty
And
acids.
people, if they're worried about the fat content in this, there are 2 cups of nuts. I've had some letters about how high in fat some of my recipes are. You can always cut it down, or you know what I've done?
Eat less.
Exactly. The thing is per person, it's not as much as you would think when you
eat a whole loaf, it might be a
exactly.
problem. Which I might do. I have to warn.
I did make this for somebody once that was truly allergic to nuts, and what I did is I used mushrooms instead of the walnuts.
Ooh.
You know, some portobello mushrooms.
What about half and half? Like half mushroom. I love mushroom
You can always
texture.
decrease it. Right here, I have 1 red onion, which I've chopped with a few cloves of garlic. I like to chop it really fine so that it almost gets that nice watery texture because I don't
It
want
distributes nice and even,
Yep,
right?
Yep. And then this is probably a little more than a half a cup.
This is hard to stir, I have to say.
Well, you've got muscles, girl. We've got a little bit more than a half a cup of Italian parsley. It's what it calls for,
good.
but I just use the whole thing. I love parsley.
I love
And
parsley.
it's
And look,
good
it's
for
got
you.
the greens.
What's good about parsley?
Oh, what's not good about parsley? First of all, it's
stem?
really good for your...
Well, I mean when you eat the stem.
Yeah. No, the stem has nutrients too, but it's good for your digestion. It's good for, it's got a lot of phytonutrients in there. Good to help you absorb the iron in the lentils.
You know what's
Because of
great
vitamin
about
C.
when you do plant-based loaves? If this were a meatloaf, which usually has meat and egg, we couldn't taste it. You can't eat really raw
You can't
meat.
taste what?
Raw meat and raw egg.
Oh, right, but now we
if
can
we
taste
wanted
it
to taste
right now,
this,
you
we
mean,
know that the
before we're
seasonings
cooked.
are good because we've made this before, but we could.
And we don't have to worry about the salmonella.
2 tablespoons of sun-dried tomato powder.
Now, why do we use sun-dried tomato powder, AJ?
So we use it because it takes 4 pounds of tomatoes to make just 3 ounces of sun-dried tomatoes. So
Wait, 4 pounds for 3 ounces?
can you believe that? So
No.
it's a very intense
It's a lot
flavor.
of water and tomatoes, obviously.
So since I don't use salt, it doesn't take the place of salt, but it's such a deep flavor, such an intense flavor that you miss the
It's
salt
warm and
mess.
earthy. And
It's really good. Now, because I'm a chef and I'm willing to buy things in bulk, I buy my sun-dried tomato powder online, but it can be costly because you need to buy 50 pounds. Most people aren't going to do that.
I don't know where I would put 50 pounds of sun-dried tomato powder.
So what you can do is you can make your own. You buy your sun-dried tomatoes at the store, not the kind in oil, and preferably without salt or sulfites.
Just a dried one. Just
right,
a
exactly.
Yeah.
And then either in your Vitamix or your high-powered blender, or even in a small $15 coffee grinder, you just grind them up.
That's what I use, the
exactly.
coffee grinder.
Now realize that some of them are very dry and some of them are a little bit moist. I'm
I'm working out so I can
Yeah.
save room to
Right.
eat all of this, the whole loaf, all those 2 cups of nuts.
So here's the thing. There's a company called Just Tomatoes, which you can also get online.
Oh, yeah.
They are very,
ready?
very, we're ready to put it in. Those are very, very firm sun-dried tomatoes, so that will come out more like a powder. Some of the softer ones will be a little bit less like a true powder, but you're doing it for flavor. So
If
don't
you
worry
make a
about
lot of it, will it store for a while?
in the fridge, definitely once you process them in the fridge. Now we're using a silicone loaf pan because we don't use oil in any of our recipes, and nothing will stick to this.
Nothing.
These pans,
Amazing. I love these. I
and
know.
they're pretty inexpensive. You can get them online.
They are. It's like, I think this was less than $10.
I think it was like $7.99 if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
At Bed Bath & Beyond with your 20% coupon. That's
Oh, yeah.
practically free. We're using a loaf pan, but you know what I love to do is to use a bundt pan as well.
Yeah.
And then stuff the middle with cranberry sauce. It's
Ooh.
we forgot our bundt pan at home, but this is going to work out great.
I don't have one.
What I even like it better is the next day, cold in sandwiches with barbecue. Well, I don't eat bread, but lettuce sandwiches with barbecue sauce. I love this better cold the next day.
Oh, that sounds so good. That's how a lot of
So-
people celebrate the day after Thanksgiving, right?
So we're
I
just
don't know if we're going to fit all of this in
Well,
here.
yeah.
We should get my little mini ones.
Yeah,
Do you know where
okay.
they are? No, my little mini silicone.
Yeah. Okay.
What do we do with those? They're so cute. They're a little fall festival. They've got acorns and pumpkins. And they're pretty. Yeah, because this is going to be a hearty loaf right here. Well, if we don't finish it, we'll just eat it.
Right. We could probably roll it into little meatballs.
Ooh, and then bake them alongside them. Okay, maybe we'll do that. All right, well, I think this is ready.
So I'm
gonna
going to
bake
just, my hands are clean, people, and it doesn't matter if they're not because you guys aren't eating this. We'll put
I
it
am,
back
so it
down.
does matter.
So this is going to take about, it's a nice thick loaf, it's going to take at least 50 minutes in the oven. So
So we've preheated to 350, correct?
right, 350 for about 50 minutes. So it's going to go in the oven right now, and you're going to see what it looks like when it comes out.
Before, and we'll show you the after.
What I like about these is that
They don't get so
they
hot.
don't get as hot as metal.
Look at that, just falls
It
right
just
out.
plops right out. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So now we're going to make something really yummy. I made this at True North where I chefed last Christmas and the people loved it. These are twice baked sweet potatoes.
Okay, I've seen collards as wrappers. I've seen lettuce leaves as wrappers. I've never seen sweet potato skins.
Well, what you do?
So creative.
You know, these are organic, so you technically could eat them.
Yeah.
Fiber and nutrients. I do a lot the day before, and as everyone should if they're having a big gathering. So I bake my sweet potatoes. Right here. These are sweet. Do you know the difference between yams and sweet potatoes?
I always talk about that. I should know this, and I've answered this before, but now I forgot.
Okay.
Because it's like basically where the origin is.
So basically
it's
what
a
I do is
botanical
I
thing.
take the filling out.
Yeah.
It comes out nice and easy, especially because I refrigerated it overnight.
Oh, so that makes it easier?
Oh, wow.
So is that ideal? So bake them and put them in the fridge?
Yeah. It takes a lot less time, and then who wants to have the oven on? You know, a lot of people don't have 2 ovens. So put that in there.
I know.
And all we're going to do is add to it, and then the ones that don't look nice, I don't use them. So it's good way. So right here I have a half a cup of unsweetened cranberries, and you can't.
They're hard to find.
Yeah, but you can find Eden brand has no oil added, no sugar, no salt. Sweetened with
Usually
fruit juice.
those dried fruits are filled with oil and
and
salt and
sulfites.
sugar.
Sulfites are bad.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah. A lot of
especially
people
if
are
you have
intolerant
allergies.
or asthma.
Even migraines, I hear.
People that don't even have it, like a diagnosed condition, will sometimes react to
so
sulfites.
best to buy one and avoid
Sulfite
it.
free, yeah.
This is a half a cup of cranberry relish. Now, if you want to have this recipe, just go to episode 10 of The Chef and the Dietitian. This is our favorite relish made with simply oranges, dates, and cranberries, and it's delicious. But feel free to use any relish you like. So just mix it up really good. Now, you could put in a half a cup of pecans in the filling or sprinkled on top if you want. It's optional.
Well, there you go.
But we have nuts in our lentil loaf, so we don't want to get too nutty.
We like getting nutty though, I thought.
Come on, really stir it.
Okay, I'm
somebody that
trying.
works out as much as you.
I know. You know what the problem is? The lever.
Yes,
It's
and
too.
also,
it's
she
too-
is petite. We need to get you
I need
up like
some
a box.
heels or a box, an apple
We
box,
get you on a box.
like we do with all the little kids.
So you could actually eat that right now. It's
I
good,
might.
but
It smells amazing.
And you know what?
It's very fragrant.
If somebody had trouble doing the filling or the liners didn't come out right, just bake it as a casserole. It still would be a
Ooh,
delicious.
I mean, look at that. Talk about antioxidants in a bowl. That is rich.
It's so
rich in
pretty.
antioxidants.
So now what
cancer-fighting
we'll do
stuff.
is together we'll just stuff them.
Okay.
And I like to kind of mound them. I like to make them fuller than they would normally
Oh,
be.
like bursting,
Yeah.
exploding with flavor.
They're so good. This is like dessert, actually.
It
These
looks
are-
like dessert.
they're
It smells
so
like
good.
dessert.
There's nothing bad in it.
There's a lot of strength that it's requiring me to not just take a huge bite of this
Looks
right now.
so good. I can't wait till the meal's all done and we
I
get
can't
to
either. We have to wait till the end
indulge.
this time. Usually we do a recipe and then we taste it.
And then we say, this tastes really good, and it's not just because we're on TV.
But it always does
But
taste
it really
so
does
good.
taste good. I don't think we've had a clunker yet.
No, I don't think so. Okay, you keep going.
So
That
yeah,
big?
yeah, I really like to
Oh my
stuff
gosh,
them.
you're not kidding.
I like to give people their money's worth.
Okay.
You know? And I like to stuff them really, really full.
Those are really, really cool. God, they smell so good. I can't
And the
tell
oven
you.
is already preheated. We've already
Right.
got the lentil loaf in at 350, so this is perfect.
All right, I gotta do it.
Yeah, is it good? If it's good cold, it's going to be better hot.
Oh my God.
So I just kind of shape it like this. And again, if we were using nuts, we'd sprinkle them on top.
And what are in the standard? Let's talk about those standard twice baked potatoes.
Oh my
or
gosh.
Fat Central.
Marshmallows usually.
And all that butter. Don't
Yeah,
they just like cheese
butter,
and butter?
yeah, just
and
all kinds of stuff, yeah.
sauerkraut.
But a lot of times the sweet potato dishes have things like marshmallows, which even if you can get them, I mean, they're even,
Oh, for the holidays,
it's
yeah.
very hard to find vegan marshmallows. I mean, they do exist now, but people have to understand most marshmallows have gelatin, so
Yes.
you want to avoid that.
Yes. Yeah, people
Right.
often try to feed my kids marshmallows and it drives me nuts. And they do, and I find out later,
Oh,
and it's like, they just ate beef bones.
So these are going in the oven.
Not these.
Yeah. These are not, no beef here.
Also 350, correct?
350.
Okay.
Okay, that's my plate. What do you guys think?
Fight me for it, girlfriend. Oh, that is so beautiful.
Pretty.
Oh, that's not a nice
You could
centerpiece.
sprinkle a little,
Some,
you know,
like parsley or something.
or even some cranberries, but I think it looks pretty good.
I think so too. Gorgeous.
So now we're going to make an appetizer, and this is actually going to be raw. I mean, we're not 100% raw, but we eat a lot of raw food, and it seems that all of our get-togethers, there's always at least one raw foodist that we need to make happy. So it's called I Can't Believe It's Not Tuna. I mean, it's not tuna. So
we don't want tuna.
Yeah, what's wrong with fish? People really now are thinking it's a health food. They need it for their omega-3
Well, they are good sources of omega-3 fatty acids, of DHA. So they are a good source of already preformed omega-3 fatty acids. However, it also comes along with a lot of toxins like dioxin, DDT, PCBs, mercury, and we're seeing people, like those people that go and eat sushi on a regular basis, we are seeing a lot of people with built up amounts of mercury and other toxins in their bloodstream, because those metals, they don't leave your body once they come in. So you don't want to have all of those metals building up and promoting all sorts of cancer growth and stuff like that. We'd rather get our DHA. But you can get enough omega-3 fatty acids and DHA from plant-based sources. We can't get DHA, we get ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, and that converts in our bodies to DHA. So we can get that from walnuts, which we've already used today. You can get that from flaxseed, hemp seed, chia seed. Those are great sources of ALA, and that converts down
because
to
the fish don't make the omega-3, right?
They're getting it from microalgae. Now, if you're pregnant or if you're concerned about DHA, you can get your levels tested in your blood, and you could also get a DHA formula from a microalgae formula without the toxins of the fish oil supplements instead.
But for those of you like us that want to avoid fish, this will be the great alternative. So in the food processor, I have 1 cup of almonds and 1 cup of sunflower seeds, which I soaked overnight.
Good. And lots of vitamin E in there.
Good. And if somebody couldn't have one or the other, you could do all almonds, all sunflower seeds. And here's the juice of 3 lemons. It can be 2 lemons. It just really depends how lemony you want it. You could do 1, 2, or 3 lemons. And I'm going to I like the lemony too. If I was using fresh lemons, I would use the zest.
Right. I know. My favorite trick I learned from AJ. I've got a list of tricks I've learned from AJ.
I'm just going to add a little water to get it to process. Just
on a scraper?
Right, but it's just enough to get it to blend nicely. You want to scrape it and get it right here.
We're getting used to our new set over here.
Perfect. That's great, and it's done. Whoops. So in your bowl, I'm going to add, what I have here is Italian parsley, about 1/2 cup, a couple of stalks of celery, and a couple of scallions. And if you didn't like scallions, you could use red onion as well.
Spicy.
So we're going to add a nut seed mixture. And it's weird. I mean, I've been vegan 36 years. I don't remember exactly what tuna tastes like, but it's creepy the way that it sort of tastes
too much like it. Sometimes you wonder. I know you kind of get to that point where you're like, I wonder what it tastes like to the regular palate. You know, because we're so warped.
I call them regular people. Like, I know a recipe is good if we eat regular people.
Because we're not regular.
We're not regular. But we actually are regular because we eat a lot of fiber in this diet. So we're quite regular. Thank you very much.
Lovely.
So here's my seasonings. You can talk about why these are good. Well, dill. I have a tablespoon of dill. I like to use the dried in this particular recipe. If you do use fresh, you use about 3 times as much. A teaspoon of dulse, which is actually my favorite of the sea vegetables, and 2 tablespoons of dried kelp. And this is what gives it the fishy
flavor, right? So, so we want to talk about all these sea vegetables, and you're getting a good source of iodine. Get a bigger spoon.
Bigger spoon for mixing, because we're going to actually stuff the pate. This would be great on a flax cracker, on a cucumber round, but we're going to stuff it into little endive leaves. Is it endive or endive?
It depends on tomato.
Is it target or target? So what we're going to do is we're going to stuff this, and then if we have time, we're going to make it into a sunflower shape. But
sunflowers.
You know what I do when I'm not stuffing into a leaf? I put it on a bed of kale, and I shape it with my hands to look like a fish, and put a little olive for the eyes.
Ooh, that's a little creepy. Okay. You want to take over?
Yeah. We have to get, as soon as we
get a bigger apple crate.
Well, I was going to say, as soon as we get a bigger budget for the show, we're going to get something for you to stand on.
Or maybe we could just go somewhere where I could actually use shoes. Because I'm fine with shoes on, because I wear those big old...
We're in a Japanese set here, and we're not allowed to have our shoes on. You know, I was in Japan, and I did offend them. I did not know that
you didn't?
Well, I mean, I didn't on purpose.
They have those little crates to put your shoes in. That's where I learned it from.
The sign was in Japanese, and I honestly did not know.
You don't read Japanese?
I do not read Japanese. I did not know that, and I offended them. I apologize to any Japanese viewers. I do know now. So we want to get this mixed up. So it's
she's doing a better job.
Well,
I'll talk about iodine for a second.
Great.
We need about 150 micrograms for adults a day. Now it's a great way to get it from the sea vegetables, because like just 1 gram has your whole daily dose worth. However, you can. We always talk about if something's good, that doesn't mean that more is better. So if you get too much
for money.
Maybe.
And dogs.
And dog. Well, maybe.
And chocolate, if you can eat chocolate.
If you can eat.
And peanut butter. All the things I don't eat anymore, but but I digress.
Just sad about that.
Okay.
Anyway, so you can't have too much, and you can affect your thyroid and increase too much of your thyroid-stimulating hormone, which you don't want to do either. So just enough is good, right?
Right. And
I think you did a great job mixing.
So anything good about here? If you take your spoon, we're gonna each stuff one. I know we usually taste after the episodes.
I know,
and
it's
I'm
so
starting
sad.
to get hungry.
I'm
but
so hungry.
This is so pretty. I love that there's two different colors.
Look, it looks like springtime, middle of fall.
And it's very, very fancy.
It is fancy, endive. Especially if we call it endive.
So actually, this will taste better. We're gonna chill this, and then we'll bring it out again for when
we have to wait for it to chill. So
we have to chill for it to just like
I do, can't we?
We're cheating. Cheers. Okay, sorry guys. I can't believe it's not tuna. It's good. No, it really is.
It really is. We're not just saying that.
It'll be better when it's chilled.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does taste like tuna-y.
It's very good.
Okay.
It's the lemon and the celery because
And I think it's the sea vegetables too.
It's good.
Yeah.
And do you think you could give this to your kids on bread for a sandwich? Would they know?
Let's try it.
Okay.
They've never had tuna.
Oh, so then.
Although my mother tried to feed it to them while I was away filming in New York.
Wow.
She tried to give my kids tuna fish. I'm like, what is vegetarian about a tuna?
Did they? Yeah.
No, they knew and they didn't have it. I was proud of
Doesn't
them.
that annoy you when people say, "Oh yeah, I'm vegetarian. I eat
only
chicken
eat
and
fish."
or chicken and fish." Chicken. By the way, if you're new to the show, chicken and fish aren't fish. So every meal should have a salad. You know, when I was in Japan, we had salad for breakfast.
When were you in Japan? You keep talking
I
about
know.
it. Was it recent?
No, it was a long time.
I was in Japan in 1988, but I don't keep talking about
I know
it.
it was in 1992, but I just
Oh, we
remember,
were around the same time.
I remember that I actually got married in the Japanese garden, so we
didn't know
had
that.
salad for breakfast. And people
Yes.
always say, "What do you eat for
And
breakfast?"
miso soup. And I love that.
Right, but you know, breakfast can be anything.
I love salad for breakfast.
Salad is great for breakfast, but it's
I ate
also-
soup for breakfast this morning.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Sorry, I keep interrupting. I'm all excited about the topic.
But we are going to have a beautiful salad, and this we call.
Look at that heart.
Juliana and I were on a TV show that never aired. But maybe when we're more famous, they'll play it. But it was called Kickoff Cook-Off, and it was a competition cooking show. We were the only vegan team, and we did great. And the chef really liked this. It's called a spinach Waldorf, and basically it's the hail to the kale dressing, which we did in episode 23.
Favorite. Yeah,
but instead of
23.
being on kale, we have it on organic spinach. But we have things that you would also find in a Waldorf salad. We have some. We don't have the celery, but we have sliced apples, we have the walnuts, we have shredded raw beets and carrots. And once you have beets raw, it's hard to eat cooked beets. Beets raw are delicious.
Yeah.
And some walnuts.
And the pomegranates
Oh,
too.
the pomegranate
So
seeds,
festive.
right?
I love that.
It's you talk about antioxidants in a bowl. Everything.
Right there. Everything you need in a day.
So what we're going to do is, you already have the recipe for hail to the kale in episode 23. What we do is we're doing a little reduced fat version. We're still going to use some almond butter, but we're actually cutting it in half. And how are we cutting it in half? By using one of your favorite items.
Cannellini beans.
Cannellini beans.
White kidney beans. Filled with fiber.
And it really,
And they're so mild.
right, neutral, really.
Yes.
And so they're taking the place of the other cup of almond butter, or the other, the other.
Right,
cup
because,
of- right.
because it makes it really creamy.
Half a cup, exactly.
Really mild and creamy without, it doesn't change the flavor at all.
You could do it with all beans, but what we're going to do is we're cutting the fat in half. And, I can cut it even lower to about 6 or 4 tablespoons, but this is pretty much a good compromise. And you can't tell it's not the original hail to the kale. So in the blender,
I haven't tried this yet.
I think you're going to like it. We have a cup of water with the 4 dates that have been soaking. I have 4 tablespoons of lime juice and 2 tablespoons of raw coconut aminos. We just use that because in case you're just tuning in for the first time, she can't have wheat, I can't have soy, and it's a very, very low sodium, soy-free, wheat-free soy sauce alternative. So then we'll have, I'd be great doing a commercial for raw coconut aminos.
You would.
1.5 cups of cannellini beans. If you want to use canned, that's fine.
Is that a can? It's about a can.
This is a can, a 15-ounce can. You can get them organic. You can get them salt-free. If they have salt, we always recommend rinsing.
Yeah, I like the Eden version of them because they're salt-free. They use the iodine, the sea vegetables instead. They use, I think, dulse.
Oh wow, cool.
But then they also they have the BPA-free cans.
And for people that are worried about cans but that don't want to cook them from scratch, you can get them in cartons now.
I know.
Isn't that great?
I'm so excited about those those Tetra
Right,
packs.
aren't they great?
So good.
And so much lighter when you're buying a lot of
Yes.
them. But if you guys will just get a pressure cooker like I've been telling you, you'll cook your beans in 10 minutes.
You gotta get
So
that.
instead of using a full cup of raw almond butter, we've cut it down to a half a cup. And feel free to go lower if you want. And you can see that how low
Was that
can you go.
measured a half a cup?
Yeah, I measured up.
Okay.
4 cloves of garlic. Recipe calls for 2. I just always double the garlic because I like to. 1/2 ounce ginger. I weigh my ginger because certain things, it's just, ginger can be really pungent. If you put in too much, it can overpower the recipe.
I like a lot of ginger.
You do?
I always say spicy.
Half a teaspoon of red chili
Crushed
flakes. Remember that time that we did the episode with Nutella and I didn't blend all the way in the interest of time, and then you ate like the whole clove of garlic?
And then I still taste it. That was like years ago.
Yeah, we won't do this again, we promise. You know.
This one.
Oh, there we go. You think I know how to
We're
do
turned
this.
around in our new set.
And that's that. So we're going to eat this with our meal, but I think it's fun. It's great to toss a salad, but not everybody likes the same amount of dressing. So I like to put it in an attractive. Oops, there was a little.
That was the garlic. I'm gonna watch that garlic.
Hopefully you can avoid that. But you know what? We should taste it just to make sure.
Oh, okay.
You and me, just to make sure that it's every bit as good. I always say taste it on what it goes on. So it's going on spinach.
I learned that from you too.
So what are we going to drink with our delicious holiday meal? Some
Holiday dog.
Of course.
Of course.
Eggless.
Eggless.
Right.
Of course.
You know what's wrong with an egg?
The yolk and the white.
Exactly.
You just gave me that. So I can't take credit.
All right. I think Rip Esselstyn is the one that first said it. So I have 3 cups of almond milk in the blender. If you want to make almond milk from scratch, affordably and easily, go to episode 6 of The Chef and the Dietitian. We've already made that. And to that I added a cup of cashews. Now, if you want to do it without the nuts, that's fine, but it is supposed to be a rich holiday nut, so it's a little bit richer. Or cut the 1 cup of nuts down to 1/2 cup if you
Or could you do
prefer.
the hemp seeds if you're allergic to
Why
nuts?
not? Absolutely. Yeah. So here I have a tablespoon of alcohol-free vanilla and 3/4 of a teaspoon of rum extract. It is
Rum
an
extract.
artificial ingredient, but since I don't use alcohol, see, traditional eggnog has rum in it. So I'd rather use a 3/4 of a teaspoon once a year than putting in.
You're so naughty.
I know, this is really decadent. I did forget to say I had some dates in there as sweetener. If people could use bananas if they prefer. And people always say every episode on YouTube, well, how many dates did you use? I don't know, because dates vary in size. I've had dates so big that they've weighed actually an ounce each, and I've had dates so small they've weighed 1/4 of an ounce.
Wow.
So it's really to taste. Just like I don't know if somebody drinks coffee or tea, like how much sugar do you put in?
Right.
I don't know. The answer would be none for me.
That's a good
But the
way
thing
to
is
say
it really, dates are to taste. And I suppose you could also use maple syrup if you want. You can see how thick this is.
Yeah, you know, I wanted to say something too about your decadence comment about, oh, it's so decadent. But you know what? This is the holidays, and this is a decadent meal. It's supposed to be. And a lot of people think, I don't want to eat, rabbit food for, the holidays, because then they feel like they're missing out. So this is a way to indulge once or twice a year.
I have to
And not
taste this.
so bad. Okay,
It's
yeah,
so
we're not
good.
going to wait.
It tastes exactly like, it's
my
weird.
God,
It tastes like there's
so
alcohol.
good.
This would be good if we had a little bit more chill.
It is so good. That's a nice smoothie, but it is kind of rich.
It is really,
Oh, it's so good. This dessert.
We could probably freeze it in ice cube trays and put it through our champion juicer and make eggnog ice cream.
Oh.
But make sure you chill.
Can
I think really chill.
I don't think
Happy
it's going to have
holiday
time.
time.
Yeah, happy
It's
holiday
so
holiday.
good.
It's really good.
Okay. So we're going to have dessert, and it's not going to be as decadent.
Okay.
If you don't mind, because we have a lot of decadent courses.
We don't usually do decadent,
Right.
me and you.
Yeah, we had we had the nuts in the loaf, we had the nuts in the eggnog. So this dessert's a little bit lighter, and it's virtually fat-free, and I think you're really going to like it. I actually invented it 2 days ago, so I'm really excited about it. It's an almost instant pumpkin pudding.
Okay, so what would Thanksgiving or the holidays be without pumpkin?
You have to have pumpkin. And
Yeah.
when I see
love
pumpkin, I
pumpkin.
stock up, because when it's gone, it's gone.
I
you
know.
And what's great
Love
is
it.
you love BPA-free cans. Well,
Yes.
I like BPA-free boxes.
I know, these are
or
great,
just
these
boxes,
Tetra
and
Paks.
it's perfect. And make sure you get the pumpkin puree or just canned solid pumpkin.
Yeah, not the
pumpkin pie filling, which has eggs
sugar
and
and all
in
sorts
it,
of
right.
stuff. Yeah.
So easy to make. And when you taste this, I think you're going to see this could actually be a breakfast, because all I have
Yum.
is I have 1 cup of almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, episode 6 if they want the recipe. I have 4 ounces of dates, and I'm going to use a banana. Now, did you know that monkeys peel a banana from this? You did.
You
know
taught me that.
Right.
No, you taught
well,
me
let
that.
me show you why. Because when you peel it from this end,
You have a control holder.
it doesn't break the way it breaks when you peel it from the other end. Because when you peel it from this end, you know how it just easily breaks.
But why is
I
that?
don't know. It's the weirdest thing.
See the stuff we could learn from animals if they pay attention.
See, aren't you glad you're watching this episode? So one banana, and if somebody didn't want to use dates, then don't. You can use more bananas, or you could use more dates if you can't have bananas.
Can you use a little maple syrup? I know you
Absolutely.
don't use the maple syrup.
It's not that I don't.
It's just so much easier.
It's so delicious. 1 tablespoon of alcohol-free vanilla. 1 tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice.
I was going to say something about the alcohol-free vanilla. I get that comment all the time. Well, I can't find alcohol-free. Is it really that big a deal?
It's not, here's the thing. I just say if you can't find alcohol-free, use less of the one with alcohol.
Because you taste the alcohol.
Because it's stronger. I'm somebody that just doesn't like the taste of it in dessert. And people laugh when I say this, but when I was a pastry chef at a Los Angeles restaurant, we had a lot of people come out of alcoholic rehab. And when somebody's an alcoholic, they can't even have an alcoholic in an extract.
Even if it's baked and the alcohol comes out?
They would call the restaurant and say, I just got out of rehab. Wow. It's true, so it
Wow.
could trigger them. So we just got used to, I developed all my recipes without alcohol. But sure, use an alcohol. I think it tastes better. Really,
it does.
But vanilla bean would taste the best.
Yeah, but that's a fortune.
They're $3 each, so
Yeah,
most people can't afford it. Then the whole box of the pumpkin. Plop it right in, and now you're gonna love this ingredient.
Oh yeah, chia.
Chia.
We didn't even plan that.
I used to use these on chia pets. I have a Scooby chia pet, and now this is the seed du jour. So
It is.
Tell me what's so good about it.
It's just so rich in omega-3 fatty acids. We were talking before about the ALA, the alpha-linolenic acid. Just about a tablespoon or a tablespoon and a half is the whole day's worth of omega-3 fatty acids of the ALA. So what's cool, culinarily speaking, is that it thickens and makes it into jello.
That's
it's so
how
weird.
we're going to be making this pudding in 1 second.
Really gelatinous.
But first we're going to blend everything before we put this in, because it really does thicken things up quite quickly. Just pour it into however you want. And why couldn't this be breakfast?
No, there's no reason why not.
I mean, there's nothing.
No, chia seed pudding makes a great breakfast. And pumpkin getting your vitamin A,
Right.
lots of vitamins and minerals and nutrients in here.
So what we're going to do is we're going to let these chill. I like to put a piece of saran over it, but then let this chill for a few hours or overnight. It's thick enough to eat now, and taste it. Is it good? Yeah. But it tastes better when it's a little bit more set. Don't adjust your dial.
We always cry when we cut onions, like sobbing tears, and it's miserable. So we found this great solution.
They're onion goggles. They no matter what, you don't cry.
The fumes don't go into your eyes, and it saves all that mascara.
And even if we had them pre-cut, which you can buy even cooking sometimes.
The fumes.
We never know when Oprah's going to call, so we don't want to be having our makeup and mascara running.
Heaven forbid, no.
So this is actually a shallot, but a shallot is an onion and a garlic hybrid, I guess you could say. So
I like what you usually say.
Yeah, well, I don't like to be crude, but if an onion and a garlic went out on a date, accidentally had a baby, it would have been a shallot. So I have a half a cup of chopped shallots, and I'm sauteing it in water. Why am I sauteing it in water?
Because we don't like to saute in oil. We like to save hundreds, if not thousands of calories a year.
Right.
Definitely a year.
You don't need to.
You don't need
Because
it.
people
You
say,
never
well,
miss
how
it.
do you saute without oil? Just like this. Now, I'm using a nonstick pan, and I know some people don't like to. So
I don't have a nonstick. I have like a stainless steel.
Use stainless steel.
Yeah.
Use waterless cookware. But the way you saute things without oil is to use any liquid other than oil. You could even do dry saute.
Yeah, I use vegetable broth a lot.
Vegetable broth would be fantastic in here.
Yeah,
So
coconut water.
You could use wine.
Wine,
So
beer.
we're going to saute this onion for about 2 minutes.
So you don't get the quite browning effect as you would with the oil.
But you actually can, and you can do that in a technique called dry saute.
Oh, teach us.
Well, I can't teach you
me.
right now because
Will
I'm
you tell
working.
us?
It's basically, I'm pretty sure you need a non-stick pan for that, but you just carefully watch the pan. Don't have the heat too high, and you can get a nice brown on it if that's what you want. You can also caramelize onions in the oven. Giselle Allen has a recipe for that she contributed
Oh
to
yes,
my
I've
book.
had that before.
So you can do that. She uses a little balsamic
Just brings up
vinegar.
the caramelization. Just brings out the sugar, so you get a little bit of sweetness in there.
So we're going to let this go for about 2 minutes. So Julieanna, see how it's getting a little bit dry right here? So what I do is I just add a little bit more water or whatever liquid I'm using. And try not to add more than about a tablespoon at a time because you don't want to saturate it. And you can see
it's getting pretty brown.
It's starting to get
actually.
brown. Really, I'm just trying to get it so that it's translucent.
Yeah, see, I usually just do it a little bit. I don't do it this long, but I see how brown it's
I
gotten.
think it tastes better, as, like you said,
Just a
sweeter
little sugar,
if you
yeah.
cook it a little longer. But
That's up to your preference.
And here's the thing, whether you're using a non-stick pan or a stainless steel pan, if it starts to get dry or it looks like it's sticking, add a little more liquid.
Okay.
So now I'm going to add a pound of Brussels sprouts.
Yum.
And what I did is I blanched them yesterday.
I was going to ask you why they look a little bit
That's why they are. But this is I think a lot of times when people or children, who are people too, don't like vegetables, it's because they're overcooked.
Yes.
That's what I love about
especially the green vegetables. When they turn that drab olive green.
Oh, it's horrible.
That's when the chlorophyll starts changing.
But this is how we like things. Nice, bright green. That's what I love about Asian cuisine is they don't overcook them.
Yeah.
And I finally
Plus you're retaining a lot of nutrition if you keep them lightly cooked.
So I asked an Asian chef once what
when
the
you were in
secret
Japan
was.
in
And he
1990.
said, in Japan. He said, ancient Chinese secret. Actually, what he told me is the reason that when you eat at generally Chinese restaurants where the vegetables look and taste like this is because when we place our order, they don't start right there. They've done what I've done. They've blanched it in advance.
Do you want to teach our audience how to blanch real quick?
Right. Basically, all you do to blanch your vegetables, and they're delicious like this, and like you say, it keeps a lot of the micronutrients, is you nice big stock pot of boiling water. I have the kind with the insert with the holes so that I can lift it out. It's also called a pasta pot. The water gets nice and boiling. I don't salt my water. I've cut my Brussels sprouts in half. You could probably do it whole. And I immerse them in the boiling water for 2 minutes.
And you have to count because it goes really fast.
It goes really fast. And this is another great way to cook broccoli. It's delicious this way. Take it out of the water and then I immediately immerse it in cold water. Yeah. So
you shock it with ice water.
Exactly. And so that's why these look so beautiful and bright green.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
you're retaining everything.
So these are basically cooked. Really, we're doing this just to warm it now.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is add our sauce. So in here, I actually doubled the sauce because I really like it. And I know you say, oh, you don't like maple syrup. I love maple syrup. I just try not to eat sugar. But in this recipe, it's called maple glazed Brussels sprouts. It does make a difference. You can do it with date syrup. I have, or even add a little maple extract. But this is one recipe where the maple syrup really is amazing. So it's a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, 1 tablespoon arrowroot powder, 1 tablespoon low sodium or no sodium Dijon mustard, and 1 tablespoon of a low sodium tamari, or in our case, raw coconut aminos.
That sounds like your dressing too. It sounds like you're 5. You're
right?
Take 5.
Quick 5, quick 6. And I like this little thing because it's just kind of,
I know, I still want to get one
together.
of those.
Made by Pampered Chef. And so the arrowroot is what's going to thicken it. And you could, I guess, use cornstarch, but we worry about GMOs, and since corn is such a heavily genetically modified crop.
Unless you can find it organic.
I don't know if they have
They
organic.
do have, I think they do have organic cornstarch.
Okay. Well, this is arrowroot, works the same way. Yeah. And with arrowroot, you want to mix it with cold liquids, and then it goes into hot. So I'm going to pour the glaze over. And it's going to thicken. Yeah, please, it's going to thicken. And then what's going to make it nice, this will be a great side dish for any Christmas table as well, because the green from that. This is just 1 red bell pepper that I've chopped.
Did you do that by hand?
I did do it by hand.
That's impressive.
But you
oh, okay,
that's
I know.
Because
okay.
she's got to, we're going to have to
be
get that
too gentle
right.
here.
Don't be gentle. Be
mean to my Brussels sprouts.
Be rough. But this is beautiful. And if people don't want to chop by hand, remember that tool, the ulu? That's a great chopping tool.
I got one of those because of you too.
So
I forgot about the ulu.
Look how quickly the maple and the
it's
mustard
already
together.
And it's already glazed.
This is delicious. It's really done. So now, we turn the oven off. Add the bell pepper.
We're working on our new set, so we have to get used to the equipment.
Stir it up again. Actually, you could use the whole thing, but look how pretty that
looks. That looks like Christmas.
I have a friend that actually eats this for breakfast.
I would eat this for breakfast.
It's so
I will totally make this for breakfast.
Yeah. And this is always a big hit at every holiday meal that I've
Wow, it's so can you guys see it? It's like strict. Look at it's
delicious.
Goopy and amazing looking. What's the word for that?
Thick?
Thick. Not goopy. Lazy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh my gosh. This is going to be quite the meal.
This is good. And boy, is this delicious.
Look at this.
How long did this take us?
It took us less than an hour
to make 7 delicious, nutritious, plant-based whole food recipes.
100% whole food.
Salt.
Yep.
What do we got here?
Vitamins, minerals, nutrients, antioxidants, and no bad stuff. So guilt-free. Show us what we've made.
Maple glazed Brussels sprouts. Even people that don't like Brussels sprouts like this dish.
And of course the traditional
cranberry relish, but without all the sugar, made with just fruit. Appetizer. I can't believe it's not tuna pate.
It looks like a tuna.
It's like a little fish.
A fish-free fish. And then what is this beautiful?
Oh, that's our hearty lentil loaf with some twice-baked sweet potatoes.
Beautiful.
Our beautiful spinach Waldorf salad with a reduced-fat version of our Hail to the Kale.
Our favorite dressing, at least one of them. Cheers to this. Eggnog. How do we call it?
Holiday nog.
Holiday nog.
This is good stuff.
Yeah. And dessert. Oh, you can't forget dessert.
You know, this
is like dessert.
an almost instant pumpkin pudding.
What's a holiday without a pumpkin?
Right.
Happy holidays. Happy healthy holidays.
From the chef
And the dietitian.